What was I saying? Lost my train of thought. I dropped my camera. But I saved it. Shoot, yeah, I lost my train of thought. Maybe I'll come back to it. So I gotta take tape off. I need to test all of the fans. I'll do that tonight. I need to reassemble the fans and actually test each one to make sure they aren't especially wobbly. There's a decent chance that, you know, the paint that's on there now, the 2 layers, makes a significant extra mass, a quantity of solid that is uneven or is not compatible with the motors that will be running it in some way over time. So I need to test each one at least for a spot check before I mount everything and make sure they spin freely, they're not, you know, like screeching or any crazy shit like that. What freaking else? I'm still kind of not sure what the heck I'm going to do with damn. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with the fan cables. That is a mystery. I may just say fuck it and do it live, you know. I'm picking up the artwork. So Mr. Man at the sign store around the corner, he didn't understand my my request for the artwork. He thought I've got a big piece, y'all have probably seen it by now, I'll show it. And he thought that he had to cut out the tree line, like literally cut it out. But I'm like, guys, you're a sign shop, just make all the transparent space transparent, like clear. Just give me a square and make most of it transparent up above where it is. I don't need you to cut out meticulously the whole shit. Because with one big piece of plexiglass, I don't want to be messing around with jagged edges on a sticker. Like, no. I just want to get corner to corner lined up and then just lay the thing down and forget about it. So, yeah, they were super pushed back on it. On work, they were backed up, and I finally called this afternoon. I hadn't heard from him, and he's like, yeah, it's halfway done printing. It's coming out of the machine right now, so it'll be done. It'll be ready 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I'm going to try to get as much done tonight. Unfortunately, I can't mess with those fittings that I painted tonight, the black ones. That's what I was talking about, paint thinner. Because I can't mess around with the black ones because I can't guarantee, it's humid here, it's hot, and I can't guarantee that they're going to be dry enough for me to be able to fuck with them comfortably, safely, while working with all of this stuff, which is as pristine white as I could get it. I did have a mishap with the CPU block, so the base half of it, as I was describing before, I guess I dropped my camera, the kind of like the top visible plate is white, and then the block itself is black. So I taped off the block and painted this part white first last night, and then tonight I removed the tape and replaced some around here and painted the top part, the actual block, black. And somewhere in that process I did something like this, and I was just fucking around and not looking, and I just like tapped one part with black. So the part that I already had like as clean white as I possibly could, it just had a like jet black right across it. So I was like, well, fuck me, you know, I'm basically out of white paint, and that sucks. So I said, well, if I'm gonna have to repaint it, I may as well just see what the hell paint thinner does. I found out that paint thinner might actually remove paint, and sure enough, you know, if that hasn't if the paint hasn't properly cured over the course of like 20-30 minutes, I'm guessing, it took it right off, and it did not touch noticeably. It did not affect the paint, the white paint underneath it from the night before. So I was really, really, really happy about that. Like, it was kind of creepy. You know, like dry erase boards where you know, now there's black and now there's not. It was kind of like that. So just keep that in mind if you're doing like intricate painting with oil paint. Having some paint thinner around is not good just to keep your brushes clean and to be able to switch colors, reuse your brushes, but it'll take off. Like after that, I saw, I think on a different part of the plate, I saw just like tiny little specks of black that had shown up that weren't just like dust, and I just tapped them with my finger or you know, a clean part of my glove. I got just a drop of paint thinner on it, let it sit, and just immediately wiped it off, and the black was completely gone. Really impressed. Really lucky, actually. I cut a new long run because I think I told you I was a dumbass and brushed this just like I was telling you a second ago with the black paint on the white. I was holding a Sharpie in between my fingers and I just rotated my hand the wrong way without thinking about it and just like came right across it with a Sharpie. Obviously the marks you see on there are not from a Sharpie. I was experimenting with different ways to sort of remove the shine off of these, so I just got some abrasive surfaces, random, clearly dirty ones, which I didn't notice at the time, but this was a trash tube anyway. I'm going to keep these fittings, these parts of the fittings. But yeah, I went ahead and recut that line. That's where it's going to go, kind of. And what else? Oh, I can show you the probably the scariest shit in this build for me was taking this like ridiculously nice GPU out of the box. You know, I test booted it once. It literally ran one time before I tore it apart and put this on it and then painted it. It's so counterintuitive, like I said a little while ago. This shield came, I don't think that this device itself came with a shield on it, now that I'm remembering back. It may have, I may be just spacing. But I ended up using the one that came on the riser cable, right there, for the painting process, and that worked particularly well. I taped everything off pretty extensively. This top part here comes off, and so I taped this large central area, taped around all the edges. Got it. I pushed tape down in there, so there was tape like sticking up vertically out of this here. I just kind of backed the paintbrush up against it. There's a little build up here where the paint kept it from running down. I'm totally okay with that. I'm not going psycho with this because, one, I don't care. It's paint. It just kind of has to look okay. And two, I don't want to fuck around with paint chips. Like this stuff, I don't know if you can see it. It's not like a clean break. Rather, it's not a clean line. That's from buildup from paint pushed up against the tape. And I'm probably just going to leave that because I don't want to risk shit getting into the device itself, like paint chips, anywhere. Because that can totally happen, you know? It's hollow, yeah, totally hollow. But really excited about the way that this turned out. Of course, it looks kind of goofy, and it's going to look goofy later. I'm going to try to put a big, cool logo right there. There is a Radeon logo, and if I care to peel off the foil with a razor blade, it'll say EK, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to try not to get fucking dirt on. Alright, I'm putting this thing down. Super, super, super stressful, this shit. Well, I guess the sticker might cover that. Who knows? So yeah, tonight I'm going to be testing reassembling the fans, which is particularly tedious. I may make a video because homie asked me kind of how to, he has never taken apart the Vardar fans and asked me about it, so I may make that. I'll be taking the tape off of this other random shit. I'm going to reconstruct the feet and put it on. I'm actually really excited about doing that, just because I'll have the first hard look at this paint white versus this paint white, to see if there's any like clear difference. You know, you don't know until it's on there. They capture light different ways. The material underneath are different. So we shall see. Fans. I mean, that's about it, guys. I have to wait very tediously. If it was up to me right now, I would go get all the fittings, all the black fittings. I'd rebuild the whole thing right now. That's how my head works. But I need to wait for that shit to dry, and I need to be responsible and maybe save myself some time by putting these together and testing them ahead of time, because if I mount the res and all that shit, and one of these is fucked up, it's not going to be a good time at all. And I'm not opposed to tossing these. This is like $40 worth of fans. I got them, they're bulk from EK. You know, if I have to, I have to. Hopefully not. But I got all the pieces out. Yeah, so I'll work on that next. I just want to show you guys kind of the result of the painting. 2 coats on everything. Primarily used one of those foam squares with the wooden stick attached to it, which looks like a shitty popsicle. And I used a little can of paint, like literally that much. I think I showed you. And, you know, probably as big around as this. And like maybe that tall. Not nearly, you know, a big guy, but a model size 10, and that was enough to get 2 coats on all of this. Not this case, but come on, ease up. But all this shite. So I'm going to reassemble as much as I can. I'm going to test some fans, and we're one step closer. Theoretically, if that shit, like it might, those black fittings, they might take, they might still be tacky in the morning, like 12 hours from now. So sucks. I may just put those things in the freezer, you know, see what the hell happens with that. Because once I get that artwork, I'm going to be, there is probably nothing in this world that's going to stop me from putting this together. I also have to mount the CPU block, so I got to wait for that to dry. Because it has paint all over it. Like half of it's taped and half of it's painted. And you really have to wait for the paint. I was really happy with the results of the lines here, just with basic masking tape. You know, it's nothing, it's not like sculpting class shit, but it's hard to reach places, and yeah, a lot of this, like, I didn't just like mash masking tape up against this. I did it with the top of the masking tape right there to try to prevent the buildup, and it did, and it came out pretty clean. I did that around as much as I could. I didn't fuck with it here. This is really the only place where it built up substantially, and you know, some of the residual out there. But super happy with the tape game on that. And yeah, I'm just rambling at this point, guys. I'm going to start poking around. This shit is super fun, and painting the fans was the least enjoyable part out of all of this, hand painting. You know, some folks spray paint. I don't like spray paint. I don't like, I just don't like the shit. I don't like using aerosols. That's how my head works. So this stuff's probably just as bad for me and the environment and all that good stuff, but it seems a little bit easier to avoid biologically. So spray paint might be easier. I don't really have the setup to spray paint comfortably. You know, I'm spray painting by my car. I would be spray painting by my car, and I'm not really excited about doing that. Plus this is like cheaper and easier to manage. So this was really the most tedious part of all of it, and this was super tedious getting down in these, but once that was done it was pretty straightforward. Just when you're painting around edges, just understand that it always escapes to the top side. So anytime you're painting over an edge, make sure to rotate your visibility. So if I was painting this right here and I was painting out like that, if I didn't check this edge on the other side, if I didn't wrap my head around and look at this edge, there's a good chance that there would be a line of paint just built up from that action. So you always want to check the opposing side of the corner that you're touching to make sure that it's even over there. That's something I learned while I was doing it, so I wanted to share. I don't think I can ramble about anything else. Painting the PSU is just goofy as hell. Taping it off, it's gonna be so weird, but we'll see, guys. I'll catch up with y'all in a minute.